I want you to listen to this scenario. You go to the doctor. He tells you you need an important diagnostic test that could prevent multiple issues. So you take the test and the results come back clear. Great. But before you breathe that sigh of relief, you need to hear what my guest, Dr. Chad Larson, has to say, because there's at least one very important blood test that can generate a false negative result, leaving you with a false sense of security and at risk for several serious medical conditions. Great segment this morning, Dr. Chad Larson. I welcome you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Let's talk about, first of all, your specialty, I read here, is autoimmune disease and diagnosis. So tell me, doctor, why are we seeing so many autoimmune diseases today, especially today, as opposed to way back when?
Yeah, I'll answer that with an example. A good example of autoimmune condition is celiac disease. Celiac disease has a well-known trigger that fires up the immune system in an inappropriate way, and that's gluten. So in a person who has celiac disease, gluten triggers their immune system to go on hyperactivity. It's like the gas pedal is stuck on. So the immune system starts to attack gluten, treating it as a bad guy, but at the same time, it starts to destroy the gastrointestinal tract. And that's when an autoimmune condition manifests. But there's also a brother condition to celiac disease, and that's non-celiac gluten sensitivity. And they kind of have a different set of symptoms.
And I know it's sometimes hard to detect. What are some of the symptoms that people could look out for?
Yeah, so with celiac disease, the classic symptoms are malabsorption because it's a gastrointestinal problem, so the nutrients aren't being absorbed. A person usually gets fatigued because they don't have nutrients to help make energy in their system. They usually have gastrointestinal problems like diarrhea and that kind of thing. And then there's non-celiac gluten sensitivity, which could manifest in lots of different ways. It could affect the brain, it could affect the thyroid, it could affect the liver, it could affect the gastrointestinal tract, muscles, joints. It could affect the body in multiple ways. But a very interesting thing is that 1/3 of patients that present to their doctors as celiac disease, they actually have neurological symptoms only without any gastrointestinal problems.
And what happens if this is not caught early? Can there be repercussions later?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, if there's no break for that immune system stuck on, it's going to start to cause tissue destruction on the way to a complete organ failure. So if the immune system keeps chewing up these tissues in our system, it'll turn into catastrophic problems.
And obviously testing here is crucial, which we bring in that blood test. Where do we stand with that?
Well, that's the key thing, is that fortunately laboratory science has progressed, and the traditional test, unfortunately it's still somewhat common, a lot of people don't quite know about this yet, is that the old way of testing gluten is we're just looking at one protein of gluten, but there's multiple proteins of gluten. So what we really want to do, and this comes straight out of the research, we want to look at multiple gluten peptides when we're evaluating for gluten sensitivity, celiac disease and non-celiac gluten sensitivity. So what we want to do is look at multiple gluten peptides. So fortunately, there's tests today, they're available right now. I've been using them for the last couple years that look at these multiple gluten peptides to really decrease the chance of a false negative. That's the key thing.
Because there are practically maybe millions of people out there who got the green light. Go ahead, eat gluten, and they shouldn't be because the test was the wrong one.
Yeah, 50% of people with celiac disease don't test positive to the old way of testing. So what they need is they need to look at all the proteins of gluten to really get a comprehensive evaluation.
Stay right there. We're going to talk about this test that people should know about. It sounds like great news. So when we come back, we're going to talk to Dr. Larson. Tell us about this new breakthrough, this new blood test that you really should be informed about. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. We've been speaking with Dr. Chad Larson about gluten and wheat reactivity and about a new blood test that can better detect it. Doctor, let's talk about this new blood test and why it's so important.
There's a next level cutting edge lab called Cyrex Laboratories, and they developed a test called Array 3, which is a multi-gluten peptide analysis. And they're looking at multiple peptides of gluten sensitivity, because if you're only looking at one, it increases the chance of a false negative. But if you're looking at a whole group of gluten peptides, it really helps to increase the chance that you're going to be able to pick up gluten sensitivity in that individual. Also, what the Array 3 does is it helps you to differentiate between celiac disease and non-celiac gluten sensitivity. They have other parts of their diagnostic criteria, but this could be one important step in coming up with those different diagnoses. And also, there's a few other markers on Array 3 that help you to find out if there's some autoimmune activity. So it's a very comprehensive, very thorough evaluation.
So it sounds to me that this is a pretty big medical breakthrough, especially when it comes to prevention.
Prevention's really the key.
Huge.
That's really the main thing as doctors. If we can help prevent a condition from manifesting in the first place, and I think ultimately we've done our job. Because if a person is gluten sensitive, or if they have celiac disease and they keep consuming gluten, it could manifest into thyroid problems, into neurological problems, into liver problems. Type 1 diabetes has been tied to gluten sensitivity. So there's multiple conditions that can be completely prevented if a person just gets tested early to find out if gluten is a trigger for them.
And let me tell you, gluten-free diet, it isn't a fad anymore, is it?
It's not a fad. It's not a fad. The gluten that we're eating today, the wheat-containing gluten that we're eating today, is different than decades ago. The wheat today it's so hybridized, it's created a very high gluten content because that's what the food manufacturers want. They want a lot of gluten in their food. So we're exposed to a much greater amount of gluten, and all these different peptides that are developed from this hybridization process has made it much more reactive in our immune system.
And going back to the Array 3, simple blood test for anybody, child, adult?
Yeah, it's a simple blood test. It just requires a small amount of blood. You can ask your doctor for it, and it'll give you a much more comprehensive evaluation of if you got some kind of gluten sensitivity.
I know you see many patients every day. Can you think of one, I'm sure you have so many stories, but one that really hones in on why this test was so important in their life?
Yeah, there's one in particular. I had a patient, she was a marathon runner. It was her passion was to get out there and run. And the first day that she came into my practice, she was bumping into the walls. She was completely unstable on her feet. Her balance was completely wiped out. She had went through the whole medical system. They checked for things like multiple sclerosis and Parkinson's and significant neurological conditions. And I asked them if they'd ever tested gluten, which they had not. So I said, let's do this comprehensive gluten evaluation. And as chance would have it, she was very reactive to gluten.
Wow.
And so we took gluten away. And
Different person.
Different person. She was able to go run her marathons again, and it completely changed her life.
Doctor, great information. Now, for anyone who'd like to learn a little bit more about the Array 3 blood test, where would they go?
JoinCyrex.com. It's joinCyrex.com.
Thank you, Doctor, so much.
Thanks for having me.
And Dr. Larson, I know you're coming back to the Balancing Act soon to talk more about this important medical topic of proper diagnostic testing. In the meantime, you can head to thebalancingact.com for more information on the Array 3 test. And of course, don't forget to join us on Facebook and Twitter. Check us out there.